Hello again, everyone, and welcome to American Idioms Part 36. This is the 36th video in my American Idiom series, and like the others, I'll present 5 idioms to you numbered 176 to 180. But first, I'll give you the chance to guess their meanings. Then I'll explain their meanings to you using additional examples to help you to understand them better. So, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 176, skeleton crew. And the example is, because of the flu epidemic, we have been running our company with a skeleton crew. Can you guess the meaning? The answer here is C, the minimum number of people operating something, and that's what it means if you're doing something or operating something with a skeleton crew. Now, think about a skeleton. There's no meat or flesh. It's just bones, right? That's really where this comes from. So instead of a full crew, you're working with the minimum number, right? Just the bones. Here's another example. No one wants to work on the weekends, so we have to handle everything with a skeleton crew. In this example, they have to work with a very small amount of people that are doing the job. It's almost like the skeleton, right? The rest of the body isn't there, only the bare bones, as we say. Another idiom, bare bones. All right, here's number 177. Spice something up. And the example is, my professor usually adds some jokes to her lectures to spice things up. Can you guess the meaning? The answer here is C, to make something more exciting, interesting, or tantalizing. And that's what the professor did in the example. She added jokes to her lectures to make them more, let's say, exciting or interesting, or even more tantalizing. All right, usually lectures can be boring. So in this case, the professor added jokes to spice them up. Here's another example. Our boss spiced up our salaries this year by adding bonuses for working on the weekends. Okay, in this case, the person's boss made things more interesting or more tantalizing by adding some bonuses to their pay if they work the weekends. And you'll also notice that a little bit different from our first example, you can mix this around. You can say spice up things or spice things up. They both work, okay? Here's number 178, burning question. And the example is, the burning question at the president's news conference was, why did he lie about not raising taxes? Can you guess the meaning? Did you guess B, the most important or significant question? If you did, you are correct. And according to our example, that was the most important question at this news conference with the president. The reporters were saying, well, you said that you were not going to raise taxes, but you did raise taxes because you lied about not raising them. All right? So that was the most significant question. Here's another example. The reporter failed to ask the police the burning question on everyone's mind. Why did it take so long to respond to the emergency call? Now, in this case, the people were saying that the reporter should have asked the most important question, which was, why did it take the police so long to respond to this emergency call? All right, that was the most important question. Got it? All right. And here's number 179, on the same wavelength. And the example is, on the subject of raising children, my fiance and I are on the same wavelength. Can you guess the meaning? The correct answer here is A, the same way to think about something, and that's what the example is all about. It's saying that the person and their fiance both understood or they both thought the same way about the subject of how they should raise children. All right? They were on the same wavelength. They thought similarly about this issue. That's what it means. Here's another example. I've worked with Jeremy for almost a year now, and even though we aren't on the same wavelength most of the time, we still get along with each other fairly well. In this example, the person and their coworker usually are not on the same wavelength. They don't think about things or certain things similarly, but they still get along. All right, so that's what to be on the same wavelength means. Here's our final idiom, number 180, loaded. Be loaded. And the example is, my friend Jack buys a brand new car every year. He's loaded. Can you guess the meaning? The answer here is C, to have a lot of wealth, money, and that's what it means to be loaded, to be rich. Okay, and this person's friend was so rich that he could buy a brand new car every year. It would be nice, right? If you could do that every year, buy a brand new car. Here's another example. My Uncle Charlie is loaded, and he always buys us great Christmas gifts. Same thing here. This person had an uncle who was loaded, who was wealthy or rich, and he was a generous uncle because he always bought great Christmas gifts. Got it? That's all for this video. Remember, you don't have to be loaded to study idioms or study English on this YouTube channel. It's free. Thanks again for subscribing, everyone. And remember what I always say, keep practicing! See you next time.